exact same issue as Amaoti Tembekile. Clean drinking water is nowhere to be seen. In fact, I'm going to step out of shots and show you what's happening. So, as a result of the inclement weather, this pipe, which would usually supply clean drinking water, has now been damaged, and you can see even children are trying to get some of that water. We've also seen residents coming with buckets because it seems that this is clean drinking water, but you know, this is also just a wastage of a resource that is really hard to come by at this particular point in time. We're in Ward 15 in the west of Durban, where the mayor is, and he joins me now live. Mr. Mayor, I mean, the situation remains dire, understandably so. What is the plan in terms of being able to try and restore infrastructure as soon as possible? Because seeing this water is obviously wastage, and you've already got an issue of delivering water, so it's really working backwards, isn't it?
Yes, this situation is also found on the main roads where our bulk water pipes are also leaking more water that we're supposed to be saving. But our teams are on their way to come to this ward and fix the challenge that is before us today. We are working tirelessly with our multidisciplinary teams to fix the roads. I'm sure on your way coming here, you have seen our teams working to clear the roads, and we are also attending to the issues with the Human Settlement MEC of KwaZulu-Natal, especially to create a quick response to those committees who have lost their properties, so that we are able to respond swiftly on their need to have a shelter. But we are accommodating members of the community in more than 19 shelters that we have created as a city. We are using community halls in some instances. We are using churches and schools to ascertain that people, at least they do have a place, a shelter for now, whilst we are still working on how do we then assist them. Some will be assisted through the vouchers to buy material, where we'll bring material to them so that they can rebuild their structures. Those who have solid structures, there will be contractors that will be appointed to fix those structures.
Mr. Mayor, I hear the issue of human settlements, but I want us to address what's happening right here. Is there no way to stop this wastage of water? Because this is water that is basically being wasted. Is there no way to really deal with this situation right now, where you can even get your water tankers to be or recirculate the direction of the water in this particular area?
We came with you here. We arrived together. So we identified this challenge. The team is coming to fix it. And they are going also to enable the community to have a standpipe where they'll be able to source water properly, because this water is now damaging another property which is below this road. So therefore we must fix it now. It's a matter of urgency, and our teams are on their way.
There's also a health hazard that these flash floods have caused, not only just with this water, but also with the cemeteries that are now piling up. I think that is the other issue that there's still question marks around. What support is being given to the undertakers, who are now really dealing with an influx as the fatalities continue to increase?
Maybe it's important to communicate our entire plan. We just had a special executive committee earlier on. We received our disaster report, and part of the interventions which we are making, we are aware that M19 has been closed by the committee. They are marching there because they are saying no one has attended to their plight of having a shelter. They don't have electricity and water. Our water infrastructure and electricity have been severely affected by these floods. Part of the interventions we are making now, we have about more than 3 major electricity substations which have been damaged. So those substations are being attended to. As we speak, Inanda Dam is unable to pump water, to distribute water to the biggest portion of our municipality. The reason for that is that our team have been working 24/7 in fixing that electricity. They are saying, but during the day today, they will be done. So we'll start having the water being pumped from Inanda Dam, which will then enable us to fill, even not to fill, to have half of the portion of what the quantity in our dams that can start supplying other areas. The areas that are affected, you talk about Reservoir Hills, you talk about Claremont, you talk about part of Westville, you talk about Pinetown. Those are areas which have really been affected. So with our interventions, we'll start and unlock some of those. Umgeni Water had two major aqueducts, the bulk pipes, which are not operational as we speak. So to mitigate that, we are starting to ensure that we pump water from Inanda Dam, and Umgoni Water is also collaborating with us in terms of water tankers. You have seen some of the water tankers in the area. We are bringing them in all areas which have been affected, and we'd like to appeal to committee members to be patient with us, because this is not of our own making. This is a disaster. So when we are in a state of a disaster, blocking the roads, burning tires is adding more strain, because our teams need to come in. For instance, in Inanda, where we have president yesterday, we were unable to come out of the area, and our electricity teams were deployed to go and fix challenges in that area, but they were unable to get inside. So we've got to get the assistance of the police to unblock the roads and also to access the areas where we need to fix problems. We mustn't be on the road and blocking our own staff members who are given the responsibility to unlock some of these services. We appeal to committees. There are people out there who are mobilizing them to conduct protests and everything whilst we are fixing things on the other side. So our appeal is that let them allow us as a city, zooming into the areas, unlocking the services that have been affected, so that they can start accessing water and electricity. Areas like Amaoti, part of your Verulam, part of Tonga has been severely affected because the entire water treatment plant has been flooded. As a result, it can't operate. So we are bringing other interventions, temporal measures, to start distributing water in that area. And we'll be appealing to the committees that we'll be sending water tankers. They are not going to be adequate because we also have the limited number. We have 135 on our side. Umgeni Water will be adding other vehicles so that we are able to access areas where they experience water challenges. So we appeal to committee members not to block the roads. We need roads to be unlocked. All people who are in committee structures, let them work flat out to explain this to their committees and unlock those roads so that we can start dealing with the challenges that are confronting us.
Mr. Mayor, I'm running out of time, but very quickly, there's also been reports of looting in areas such as Umlazi in the midst of this crisis. What are you doing in terms of the security aspect now to protect the very little infrastructure that we may have left?
Yeah, we also appeal to people of social media not to circulate some news and things which are getting attention. You know, the issue of looting, we found people who were intending to loot Mr. Price, but it is not communicated in the next to Umgeni Road. But in that area, no one is communicating that the police confiscated a vehicle with the goods and they were able to block them to continue with looting. Around the southern part of our city in the N2, containers were there. People started to try and loot in that area. Police came in. Some of them, they opened fire against the police. So the police were able to contain the situation. So those are the kind of positive messages. And eThekwini, business is continuing. As we speak, there are industries which are operational. There are companies which are opened and they are doing their business. It's unlike what is being communicated that everything is shut down in eThekwini. We are working with companies like Toyota and many companies which have been affected by our substations, which we are really fixing 24/7.